Hi,
My name's J.C. McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Business owners from this state of Connecticut. I'm Guilaine Menefee, your producer and host, and I am so excited to have in the studio today someone who represents a passion of mine, something that is near and dear to me, health and fitness. My guest is the business owner of Get Fit Now LLC, where he's a personal trainer who works with people of all walks, fitness levels, and wherewithal. He teaches you how to feed your body to improve your health and shape, and also works with those at the highest level, athletes and fitness competitors, like even myself as a bodybuilder, by providing posing instruction for when we get on stage for a fitness competition. But what I really love about his style, it's not only effective, but it's practical, where he teaches you clean eating, where you're not starving, nutrition that actually considers your pockets, and most importantly, it's doable. You really can achieve success with your health and fitness goals. So let's start this conversation in our show today that we themed healthy lifestyle. Please welcome Mr. Gerry Ruck. Hi, Gerry.
Hi, Johnny. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for being here. And we're so excited. Of course, health and fitness is such a big topic. And, I think folks can learn so much for you, but why don't you maybe begin with just telling us, how did you get started in this business?
Well, I'll go back to a kind of a little funny incident. The reason I started working out in the first place, it happened back when I was 12, and my best friend beat me in a arm wrestling competition in front of the woman I was to marry.
Oh boy.
So from then I started working out.
Okay.
So that's how I started in the business. So it's been 40-something years I've actually been working out.
Awesome.
So, but I mean, the actual personal training business I got into probably about 7 years ago, actually.
Okay. And so you had this incident that inspired you to continue training, or to continue training and then now provide the service, right?
Right.
Okay. So tell us a little bit more about your services, though. So you're a personal trainer?
Yeah, certified personal trainer with NASM, which is the National Academy of Sports Medicine, which is one of the higher level certifications. I also am a licensed massage therapist, and I also provide meal plans for my clients. Not actually a nutritionist, but we do meal plans.
That's right.
Yeah, so that is pretty much, and I also do posing with my clients for competitions.
Right.
So I train competition clients for the stage.
Okay. And so now with your customers, I know you talked to me that you've seen them all, right? All types. Tell us a little bit about the types of clients you have.
Well, I go all the way from probably 12 years old to almost 80.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I've had clients who come in to get better at games, soccer, baseball, football. They want to jump higher, run faster, have more agility. So we do that kind of training. Then there's older people who maybe have to start them off just with learning how to get up out of a chair.
Okay.
They sit down, they get up, they walk around, their muscles, joints are stiff. You have to start them slow. But everybody progresses. And there's, of course, the 30 to 50-year-olds who maybe are just looking to lose some weight, burn off some body fat. And then the other group would be the competitors, which is usually the most fun part.
Yeah, we're going to get to that a little bit later on in our segment. But with competitors, right, I think there's that other category of people that come to you sometimes. So with competitors, they have this show in mind, right? And I call them event-based folks, right? So you talked a lot about, which is what we think of when we think of personal trainer. You're changing your body and
Right.
hopefully for a long term. But sometimes folks come to you for like very specific events. What would be some of those types of things where people are more date focused or?
A lot of times it will be like a wedding,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
or I just had a baby, I need to get this weight off,
Okay,
or
yep.
I have a vacation coming up, or it's Easter, or I'm going to a reunion, and I want to look my best, or
Right.
or a competition.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So a little bit more just about the whole personal training experience. How do people understand what that means to get that service to you? How is that engagement? How does that work when they're working with you?
Sorry, I'm not
Like
sure.
personal training, just like
So-
kind of when they're working with you and how they
As-
should expect, that they're in their time. They're like a half hour, an hour.
Oh, the amount of time.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I got you. Yeah, well, we do 30 minutes, we do 45, we do an hour. So typically, I mean, the process is you would come in and sign up, and I get a health status questionnaire, so I find out, what may or may not be wrong with you. So I have some idea of your flexibility, your strength, and your cardiovascular fitness.
Good.
Then from there, I can choose. Well, maybe you can only handle 30 minutes, or maybe you can go for an hour, and we can start at the top. So, once that questionnaire is done, the assessment's done, then we can work through a session and, start aiming toward your goals.
Yeah, so we have I think a couple of images so people could get some ideas
Yeah.
of just just really how engaged you are. It's one-on-one, like you said, right? And you're ultimately instructing folks how to exercise, right?
Right. Yeah. Proper form.
Yep.
Proper amount of weight. How to breathe.
Yeah.
Keeping focus, getting the mind-muscle connection.
Yep. What does that mean, though? Maybe some folks just to understand, what does that mean to have muscle-mind connection?
Well, actually, what it is your body will take the easiest path of resistance.
Okay.
So if you're curling a weight and it's too heavy to curl, you'll probably lean back and try to swing it because that's what your body wants to do.
Right.
So normally during a workout, if you're doing a bicep curl, I may touch your bicep and say, focus right here. This is the muscle you're using.
Awesome.
So that you can think about the muscle you're working while you're doing the exercise.
Yeah, and I think that if you just even think about the word, it's called personal training, right?
Yeah.
So you're one-on-one with folks.
Right.
But you also do group training, right?
Yes.
And I know we have some images of that, but talk a little bit about the group training. How does that work?
So the group training is a little, obviously a little less than one-on-one. So it's less expensive, so it
Okay.
appeals to quite a few people.
Uh-huh.
So we can go quite across a wide range because I've had a daughter, a mother, and a grandmother work out together.
Okay.
Obviously, they can't lift the same weight.
Yeah.
The younger one may be faster and can lift more weight.
Sure.
The older one has to be slower. So you can give the older one a lighter weight and less reps, and the younger one heavier weight and more rep. So they'll actually finish the exercise around the same time.
Okay.
The middle one, obviously, you can set it wherever they need to be.
Yeah, of
So
course.
groups do work. You just have to be very aware of what each person's doing.
Okay.
Usually we start with lighter weights because you can't really spot 3 people at once.
Yeah.
So you go with a weight where they can handle it or can
Okay.
drop it if they need to.
Okay, yeah, just couple quick tips here. Video of training that you have with
Yeah.
multiple folks.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, what is he doing here? That's awesome. What is he working on? That was your core?
So that's a core exercise. We call
Yeah.
them rainbows. So you're actually twisting your waist while in a plank.
Okay.
So it's difficult because you have to use your core just to stay up on the ball.
Okay, awesome. So you can, and with the personal training, I mean, that was a big medicine ball, but what other types of things do you use to incorporate within the training?
Well, we use the battle ropes, which people have probably seen on The Biggest Loser.
Yep.
And big tires we flip.
Okay.
We use dumbbells, barbells, slides. There's TRX.
Okay.
I mean, there's many different items we use. I guess without a visual, it might not be
No
hard
worries.
to.
Yeah. What I know women sometimes they are sometimes concerned with training, and you train, very disciplined, rigorous, but
Right.
sometimes women have concerns about training, especially with weights. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, well, I guess the biggest concern is people think they're going to look like a man.
That's right.
Women,
That's right.
If they lift heavy weights, they'll look like a man, but it is actually not true. If you train heavy, you'll actually get leaner and look smaller. So the idea of getting bigger when you lift heavier weights would only happen if you don't diet.
Right.
I mean, if you're a large person and you have body fat already and you build your muscles up to get bigger, and you're still the same weight, yes, you will look bigger and get bigger.
Yeah.
But if you diet and eat properly and you lift heavy weights, you'll actually look smaller. You'll look smaller than someone who actually weighs more, who has more body fat.
Right. And we're going to get to that because nutrition is actually the biggest strategy when it comes to training and being effective with the results that you see on your body. But what would you consider in terms of training folks? What is probably the biggest challenge that you normally face when it comes to working with clients from a personal training perspective?
I would say consistency.
Okay.
Which is what I tell all my clients. You need to be consistent. That's how you get your result. So staying on the meal plan would probably be the biggest challenge, because most people can come in, spend an hour and work out and go home.
Okay.
Most people can do the cardio.
Right.
And then I have my clients drink a gallon of water a day. That's a problem, but not as big a problem as staying on the nutrition plan.
Okay.
Eating what you're supposed to eat, eating when you're supposed to eat, and how much you're supposed to eat.
Okay. Okay, so that makes sense. So we're going to get into that because I know that you, the way you engage with your clients, I think food is just probably the most important thing, really, so you can get to the results, right? With all the hard work that they're doing and working with you. So when we come back from our break, we're going to talk to Gerry a little bit more about nutrition, his philosophies even, too, about food, because we have a lot of myths out there when it comes to what you can and can't eat. There's all these new healthy lifestyles that Gerry has some interesting perspective on it. I think you're going to want to hear. So stay tuned with the Black Business Alliance Show. Healthy lifestyle is our theme today with Mr. Gerry Ruck, business owner of Get Fit Now, LLC. We'll be right back.
You know something? Hartford's strength is the people. They're independent thinkers and love their city. So how did Hartford fall into the hands of rogue policymakers? Well, to start, this rogue group spent nearly $1 million putting themselves on the inside and leaving you out in the cold. What if I told you that $5 can be the difference between a Hartford with hope and vision or a Hartford that is in perpetual decline, increasing crime, and an educational system going nowhere fast? Your $5 contribution to our team is a statement that you are investing in Hartford's future. Your $5 contribution to McCauley for mayor will make you a member of the team, and together we will explore the possibilities. More than that, you will be demonstrating that Hartford's people are ready to make a stand with Stan. Our goal is to get the support of 5,000 people who live, work, and play in Hartford. I'm asking you to make a bold statement by contributing $5 right now, today. If you believe in Hartford and its people like I do, make that contribution. And together we will show Connecticut that the people of Hartford care enough to do our part. We are ready to pick up the ball and run. The people of Hartford are back in the game, and we're in it to win. My name is J. Sam McCauley, and I approve this message.
Welcome back to the Black Business Alliance Show. I'm Guilaine Menefee, your producer and host. And today our theme is healthy lifestyle. We have Gerry Ruck from Get Fit Now, LLC. And Gerry is a personal trainer to start off with. We have a video actually we just want to start off right now to show you a little bit more about what Gerry does with his clients.
My feet back?
Yeah, so put your feet back.
Like that?
Yeah, so let your body fall between your hands.
Like that?
Yep.
I'm bending
So
around.
put your feet up higher, walk your feet forward, put your hands up here. So let me just show you one more time. This way. I want you to go here, your hands up high, by your eyes. You're going to let your body fall forward, then you're going to push it back up.
I forget very fast.
Yes, there you go. Perfect.
How many of these?
20. Going big today. How are we doing there right now?
Well, we were just watching a clip of Gerry training with his clients. Now, Gerry, we were just talking and leading into this next portion of what we want to have a good conversation about, which is nutrition. And what I think you'll agree is really the most important thing when it comes to training, because if you're not eating right, the results aren't going to be there.
Right.
Yeah. So what do you use? So nutrition is something that there's so many miseducation, undereducation about. How do you, as a practitioner of nutrition and someone who educates folks about it, what do you do to help your clients understand how they should be thinking about food?
Well, first I want to give credit where credit is due, because I'm not actually a nutritionist, but I've worked with a nutritionist with a PhD, would be Dr. Joe, the diet doc. Wonderful guy. Worked with him for 4 years in my competition career. So I learned a lot there. But so I try to help my clients learn how to eat clean. So instead of going with fad diets, I try to have them eat food they would normally eat every day, just in the right portion size and at the right times, and drink the right amount of water so they can learn to eat correctly on their own. So my idea is not to string them along as a client for years and years, more get them to learn how to eat right, lose weight, have their friends look at them and say, wow, who are you working with? And they say, go call Gerry.
That's right. That's right. And, I think you've talked to me a little bit, too, about the fact that there are so many misconceptions. And, with eating healthy, what would you consider some of the, top misconceptions that people have around eating healthy, eating nutrition that you find with your clients?
Well, a lot of it would be, people think you have to eat organic food, or, I had a granola bar, so that was good, or I had a smoothie, and then I'd say, well, what did you have in the smoothie? Well, I put a scoop of protein, and then I threw a banana in, then I threw a bunch of almonds, and then I put some strawberries in, and strawberries are good, right? Then I put some peanut butter.
It doesn't end.
Yeah, before you know it, it's 1,000 calories
Wow.
in one drink first thing in the morning. So it's really important to space your calories out through the day so your metabolism continues to fire and stay high.
And I think one of the hottest topics always when you talk about eating healthy is carbs.
Yes.
So talk to us about carbs, because it's always the biggest question I know I get, and I'm sure you do as well.
Well, usually people think carbs is the enemy. I mean,
That's right.
Yes, they should be limited to some extent, but the problem is people eat less and less and less and less carbs, and your body is very smart. You eat less food, less calories, less carb. It will slow down your metabolism to match the intake of the calories. Otherwise, for obvious reasons, you would eventually die. So if you're expending 1,500 calories a day and eating 1,000, eventually, you will lose some weight, but you will actually end up dying if your metabolism didn't slow down. So carbs are necessary. One of the first things I usually do when I start with a client is raise their carbs. We try to find what their basal metabolic rate is, which is basically, how much you need to eat to maintain the weight where you are now.
Okay.
So once you add some more food, your metabolism will speed up, and it will actually burn more. When you eat clean food, your metabolism actually works in overtime because it takes more energy to burn the clean food. Because it's usually low glycemic, which means it takes more time to for your body to work through it. So, say a cookie is high glycemic. You eat it, your body can metabolize that and push it through in probably 15 minutes. If you eat a bowl of oatmeal, it might take an hour and a half. So all that time your metabolism is up and you burn more calories.
That's right.
Because of it.
What are some examples, though, if anybody is watching, you say, these are good carbs, these are practical foods to have in your meals. What would you say those are?
Good carbs?
Yeah.
Oh, well, oatmeal, as I already said, probably cream of wheat, sweet potato,
Okay.
brown rice, couscous,
Okay.
Red potatoes. Let's see. They're basically items that you would like get on a farm. So
Okay.
basically, if
Okay. It's a good way of thinking about it.
right. So if you're looking at a Pop-Tart and you can't find a Pop-Tart tree on a farm, that's probably processed carbs.
I think my daughter might find a Pop-Tart on the farm, but okay. The other thing, too, and you started going there, but we didn't use the word yet, but with eating healthy, a lot of times folks think it's expensive. And I think you were starting to allude to the fact that it doesn't have to be organic foods, because of course organic foods usually have a tendency to be more expensive.
Right.
You could talk a little bit about that, because I think there's a huge misconception that it's more costly, and that's why folks choose otherwise.
Right. So organic foods are great, if that's the way you want to do it. Hopefully no pesticides or less pesticide. It's grown, and it's watched, and the soil is better. But you can eat regular food and actually eat cheaper than you would with the regular processed food you would eat. I personally, as a competitor, found that my food bill went down when I was competing, and it went up after I was, mainly because I'm a bit of a cookie monster when I'm not competing.
Okay.
You see those impulse buys as you stand in a line. Oh, I could use a Snicker bar. Oh, look at those cookies. Those look great. And you throw them in the basket because, you want to have a snack late at night. So, literally, if you bought maybe Uncle Ben's bag of rice for $5, you can actually probably feed yourself for an entire week.
That's right.
So, and that's clean food.
Yeah.
So if you bought a box of cookies, it might last you one night, maybe two, and cost the same amount.
Okay. The other thing, though, too, I think with food, there's a lot of, and I think you may have used the word fads out there, but there's keto, and there's pescatarian, and there's all types of Ians, right?
Yeah.
But I think you have a different approach with how you see some of those lifestyles when it comes to eating in those very concentrated ways. Tell people a little bit about that perspective.
All right. So, there are some that are, some people who have gluten sensitivities, lactose intolerant.
Medical reasons.
Yeah, if it's a medical reason, I understand that. But I try to steer people away from the other diets, say keto. If it works for you, that's great. I don't want to blow dirt on it. But basically, I tell people you need to have a diet that's sustainable.
Right.
So keto is a lot of protein, a lot of fat, almost zero carbs. So anytime you go out, most of what's being served
has
is carbs, probably 90%.
Yep.
So it's very tough to be around that kind of atmosphere while you're doing keto.
Yep.
So it's not that it doesn't work, but I like to steer my people to foods that you can buy at the grocery store, the oatmeal, water, carrots, green beans, Brussels sprouts, chicken, salmon. And everybody thinks, oh, well, you have to eat chicken and green beans every day.
Yeah, grass.
And rice, and it's just not true.
Yeah.
I have steelhead trout, I have salmon, I have beef, I have pork, I do bumblebee tuna, basically any fish, any beef, any swordfish.
Yep, I'm eating ground beef, I'm eating steak, so that makes sense.
So there's actually quite a variety. I probably eat a bigger variety of food than most people do every day.
Yeah.
So there's definitely not a problem there.
Yeah, that's good. And I think that relieves people, because they think that it's going to be such a cost, right? And that's a real concern, but I think if folks understood that it probably tempers your spending habits, it's actually a little bit more easy on the pockets than folks think. We're going to get back from our break, where we're going to have the fun part of what Gerry does, I think at least, which is competition training. And I'll talk to him a little bit more too about what it means for him as a business owner to run his business, Get Fit Now LLC. So we'll be right back. Healthy lifestyle, our show's theme today with Mr. Gerry Ruck. So stay tuned.
The indie label Nico Star Music launches the all-female reggae-infused album entitled Queens in the Arena Comet Rhythm, having an international flair with stars like Nadine Sutherland, It Takes One, Pam Hall with tune What You Gonna Do, Lady Ann, This Year Route, China Nicole, Amazing, and so much more. Queens in the Arena Comet Rhythm is the album that you need to get in your collection. It is bad with an international flair, and it's available on all digital outlets on iTunes, Amazon, and many more. Queens in the Arena Comet Rhythm. Yeah.
Welcome back, Black Business Alliance Show. I'm Guilaine Menefee, your producer and host. And for today's show, we called Healthy Lifestyle. We have Mr. Gerry Ruck, business owner of Get Fit Now LLC. Thank you again, Gerry, for being with us today. I want to get to, I consider the fun part of what you do.
Yes.
Competitions and bodybuilding. So there's a mystique around this part of your business and just this industry. Help people understand, what would it take really to be a fitness competitor, to be a bodybuilder?
Well, I guess the first thing would be you need to find a good coach.
Yes.
So, look at their credentials, see what they've done before, or if they've helped other people. So it's certainly not something you want to do by yourself.
Okay.
Because, and then if the coach is a good coach, he'll bring you in and look at you and decide, what level you can compete in: bikini, figure, fit body, bodybuilding, because they are different body types.
Right.
And while you can transform a body to a certain extent, there are certain types that, you just wouldn't be good in bodybuilding, or you'd be much better in figure. So at that point, you have to decide, which show you're going to do, and your coach will let you know how long he thinks it's going to take you to get to that point. For most people, they have to lose a certain amount of weight. Sometimes you have to get a client, they need to gain weight and then lose some to get back on stage because they're too thin for what they want to do.
Okay.
So it's quite a process from beginning to end.
It's a process, but do you think it's impossible? Because some people, they look at, muscles and and they say, I could never look like that. What do you say to clients like that?
Definitely not impossible.
Okay.
I mean, I've had clients that were very thin, who ended up, putting on weight, putting on muscle, and dropping body fat and competing. I've had clients that were fairly heavy. I've worked with one recently who's lost about 90 pounds and is now competing.
That's
So
awesome.
it was a long journey, and I think he was a little afraid to get on stage, but he did it and got a standing ovation when his story was read.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
That's like near and dear to my heart when things like that happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so I've seen it from both ends: too thin, too big. But if you're focused and your coach is helping you, you can get there.
And did you have to have grass and chicken every day to get on stage?
Absolutely
I want
not.
to emphasize that because I know
Yeah.
as a bodybuilder, that's questions I get is, oh, you
Yeah.
just eat chicken and broccoli.
Yeah.
But that's not true, right?
Yeah, not at all. No, it's quite a wide range of food that you can eat. You know, mostly it's protein, but there's chicken, there's turkey, there's steak, there's swordfish, there's pork, there's steelhead trout, tuna. So there's a long line of stuff, and including carbs and also vegetables too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you do have to eat clean, that's for sure. It's certainly cleaner
Right,
than a
and-
regular diet.
And that's the key, right?
It
with
is.
nutrition, with competition. It's that discipline aspect,
It
right?
is. It is. So you can't decide, well, this Saturday I'm going to go to a birthday party and just have whatever I want. I'll be right back on it tomorrow. No, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the other word, too, that I like to make it a little bit more realistic for folks who may be interested in the journey, and maybe you agree, is lifestyle. What
Yes.
do you think about that?
Yes. Well, you have to make if you're going to compete, you have to make it your lifestyle.
Yep.
And so basically food becomes your primary thought for the day.
Yeah.
You have to buy a lunchbox, you have to carry it with you, you have to prep your food on the weekend.
That's right.
I personally prep for the whole week on Saturday or Sunday and put all my food in Tupperware containers, and every day I take 4 out, take it with me to work.
Oh, yeah.
I eat oatmeal on the way to work, eat my food at work, and then I have food after I get home. So you need to have your food with you so that when the time comes around to eat it, you can
Yeah.
eat it. So if you leave it at home, there's always something that comes up.
Yeah.
Reason why you can't. Even if you can run out to the store on a Saturday, I'll just run to the grocery store. I have my meal ready when I get back.
That's
I
right.
go out to the grocery store, like, you know what? I'll go to the post office while I'm here. And oh man, I got to go to the bank too. Next thing you know, 4 hours is gone
Yeah.
by, and you should be eating every 2.5.
Your stomach's
So,
probably mad at you.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more, though, about what it's been for you, though, as a business owner. You have a lot of clients, and you have to find clients, but they come to you as well. What have you done to be this successful, to have a large clientele and folks continuing to ask for your services?
Well, I guess to go back to the beginning of the personal training, I mean, when I started, I had like 2 clients a day. I would come in for one client, go back home, then come back for the next one. Check the phone every once in a while, make sure I dial tone. Wasn't sure if it was working. But, I mean, the principles were the same. It's basically usually under promise, over deliver. So whatever you tell someone you're going to give them at least that and more.
Right.
And being early is on time, being on time is late. So something that clients hate the most is if they show up and you're not there. And,
That's right.
You eat into their time. So you need to treat each client as if they're your only client and your best client.
Right.
So I found that has worked for me, through the years. And this is not the only business I've been in, but I've, been around a lot of people who've been self-employed, and you are the business. You wear all the hats,
That's right.
Unless you have employees. But in the beginning, you wear all the hats. So you have to satisfy every part of the business to your client satisfaction. So you need to get their questions answered. You need to be there on time. You need to focus on them. You don't want to be on the phone while you're training them.
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know.
yeah. I see that often in the gym.
And also you ask that client for referrals once they're happy
That's
with
right.
what you're doing. Wow, do you have a brother, sister, mother, uncle who would like to come in and train also? Friend, co-worker. So referrals are probably the biggest part of the business. I don't even advertise anymore.
Okay.
So it's pretty much
That's
all
awesome.
referrals. Yeah.
The other thing that you stressed in conversations with me is about listening and listening to your customers.
Yeah, that's huge, especially when they're first coming on board.
Right.
So you don't want to force your agenda on your client.
That's right.
I mean, if they're coming in to lose body fat and you're trying to tell them, hey, you could be a competitor. I mean,
Yeah, you jumped them five
they don't want
steps
to
down
do
the
that.
road.
Yeah. And there's some people, they don't want to lift weight. They only want to do functional training, maybe do some ropes or bands. And, maybe later on you can get them into it. You can
That's right.
tell them why it makes sense to do. But, they might come in with some preconceived ideas.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you can work with them and still get the results they want the way they want it. But you definitely have to stop and listen, present what you can do, but listen to what they want.
That's right.
And then tell them how the two can meet.
Okay, that's awesome. And in terms of just now, even if this is somebody who's not interested in health and fitness, but just as a business owner, some words of wisdom, some golden nuggets, if you will, that you might leave with, some of our viewers today listening to you and some of the things that you've done to make yourself successful. What would that be?
Probably consistency would be the first thing for the business owner yourself, so that people can rely on you. If your client can say, "Oh, that guy is always on time," that's a good thing. That's hard won.
Right.
Or he always does what you say, or
Yeah.
if he tells you he's going to send you a meal plan, he sends it. When he's supposed to. I do have some golden nuggets. They're slipping me right now. But
Well, I know one of the things, just because this is something I do with my clients, but you came into your business, and one of the things that you said was a foundation for you was that you created a business plan to start.
Yes. Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, business plan is very, very critical. Well, the first thing it does is tell you, is my business going to actually work?
That's right. That's right.
It makes you go back and look at the business, like how long have people been doing this? Is the business viable in this state?
Right.
How many people are doing it in this state? Will I be run out of business because there's 10 people next door doing the same thing or in your same
How
neighborhood?
saturated is the market? That type of thing.
And so how much money are people making in the business?
Yep.
Can I make enough to pay my bills?
Right.
How many people do I have to see each day in order to pay my mortgage, my car bill, whatever it might be? So the business plans are really amazing. There, first time I did it, I was like, oh my goodness, this is like 30 pages long. It's going to take me forever. Do I really need to do this? But by the time I got done with it, I was so confident about what I had to do. And it makes you set your goals.
That's right.
And once you've set your goals, every single goal I set for year 1, year 2, year 3, I surpassed each one of those goals.
That's so awesome.
So it's absolutely worth it.
That's awesome. So how do people find you?
They can find me on Instagram under team_Gerry, and on Facebook under Gerry Ruck, WNBF Pro,
Okay.
and by email, symmetry225@yahoo.com.
Okay.
And also on my website, www.getfitnowct.com.
Awesome. So you heard it today. Healthy lifestyle with Mr. Gerry Ruck, Get Fit Now LLC. If you need someone to help you reach your health and fitness goals. Thank you again, Gerry, for being with us today. For our show, we themed healthy lifestyle. Again, Guilaine Menefee with the Black Business Alliance Show. And if you want to meet some great business owners like Mr. Gerry Ruck from Get Fit Now LLC, take a look at the Black Business Alliance online, bbusinessalliance.org. Call us at 877-459-0002. I'm Guilaine Menefee. Stay tuned. Come back and join us next week at the same time, same place, so we can talk to more dynamic business owners like Mr. Gerry Ruck from Get Fit Now LLC. We'll see you soon.